Hey YouTube, do you know what's worse than having an Ultra League where it's already has accessibility issues? Making it a limited Ultra League and pair it with Master League. And that is your option this week. It is a Summer Cup Ultra League and a Master League. Summer Cup is 25, so it's Ultra League 2500 CP, normal, fire, water, grass, electric, and bug. So already we have a league that is not accessible by the majority of people. You can see it in the views, you can see it by the people who play, you can see it on the comments. I don't have the resources to play in this league. And now with it, you have a league that has, as you can see on this list here, just very random, very Excel or legendary Pokemon here. So what you're going to see here is a lot of Pokemon that got buffed this season. You're going to see the first 4 out of the first 5 Pokemon, if you ignore Credilli, which is double there, 5 of 6 if you want to double count it, that have the new move of Acid. Not new move, buff move of Acid. So Credilli with Acid, Shadow Vic with Acid, Tentacruel with Acid, Toxtricity with Acid, paired with Belly Bolt, which got that really, really hard-hitting buff your defense, parabolic charge buff that came to the move, mixed with a combination of legendary Pokemon like Genesect and Virizion and Zapdos, or level 50 Pokemon like Togedemaru's level 50 Pokemon, or Pokemon with some legacy moves like Samurott with Hydro Cannon. And all in all, it just makes for a very, very tough meta to play. I will put out some Ultra League teams. I'll put out some of this. I will, if you guys want to send me some Master League is on. If you did Go Fest and you want to send me those crowned Pokemon, I would love to showcase those. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the average person to play in this meta. So I will go over the meta. I'll go over team ideas. But honestly, if I was not creating content, I would probably play a couple sets of this Ultra League and then I would take the week off. And well, if you're going to do that, please come back and watch the videos. But unfortunately, I have found over time that it is better to stick to the leagues that you are comfortable with and you have the resources with than try to fit whatever sort of smashed together team you can if you don't have the resources or you don't know the typings, like if you don't know how to play these Pokemon, if you have a huge investment of Excel and candies and dust to put in stuff in this, it just does not make sense in my perspective. But let's go over why these Pokemon are on the list. And I didn't even do what I normally do. I will go back here. I normally just go like, okay, what beats what in this? So the very basic ones are like fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire. That's the basic one. Then you have electric, which beats water. And then you have normal typing, which is just always, if you see normal typing that doesn't have a fighting typing primary associated with it, it's like they always have a better opportunity here. And then you have bug, which is kind of a unique one. I think bug beats grass, but also fire beats bug, so fire can beat grass and bug. So you have to see how strong these Pokemon are. But a lot of times, as you're going to see on this list here, it does depend on your secondaries, either your moveset or your secondary typing. So that's why Credilli kind of gets in. That half rock, it is grass, but you get in because that sort of also half rock, which really gives you coverage, right? Rock gives you coverage on fire and bug, and then you have grass for water. And so you just have a great amount of coverage. And then your grass, so you resist electric. So it just, everything's coming in for Credilli with the acid buff, with that still rock tomb that people felt like should have been nerfed this season because it's a hard hitting move and guarantees to lower your opponent's attack. So just that combo there makes Credilli very strong. Number 2 is Belly Bolt. I only played one Ultra League team last week, and it was with Belly Bolt, and it feels insanely, insanely strong. Sucker Punch really adds up, and Parabolic Charge boosting your defense. And Belly Bolt's actually already a bulkier Pokemon. So if you only played with Dedenne in the Great League, you're like, okay, wow, Dedenne can get out of control when you buff its defense, and it's even worse with Belly Bolt. Belly Bolt just seems like it's already got a great bulk. So to bulk your bulk, it just seems like, it can just really stay in these matchups. So ground is what people normally go for it with, but there is not a lot of ground. There is a lot of grass in this meta. You can see Shadow Vic and Virizion, and other electric Pokemon. So there are things that can deal with it to a certain extent, but Belly Bolt should still be very strong. And then we go to Shadow Vic. Very rare that you see a Shadow Vic in the top, if you ignore the double Credilli, top 3 Pokemon of a league now. But that acid does make it play very, very strong. You have Leaf Blade in itself, which is a very strong move on a Vic, and then you have Acid, which also gets Stab, right? So same type of attack bonus. Acid, hard hitting move. Leaf Blade, you're getting 2 and 10, very good coverage, right? You have your grass coverage. You have, you have grass coverage because of your poison. You have water coverage because of your grass. You resist electric. So a lot of good things going for Shadow Vic here if you have it. And then Tentacruel and Toxtricity also with the Acid Spray users. Tentacruel I think is going to be very safe in this meta. Again, not a ton of grounds you need to worry about. There is electric, but Acid and Scald, that combo there will beat a lot of things. Notice it's running Sludge Wave just because there's so many other grass too. Toxtricity is a nuke machine because it is very, very glassy. So just keep that in mind if you're going to use it. It's basically Acid Spray, Wild Charge. Power Punch is a bait, but you're basically one Wild Charge every single time. And then you get your normal, like Lapras. Like Lapras with Psywave and Sparkling R has been meta. Samurott with Fairy Cutter and Hydro Cannon combo now in this season is meta. Jellicent has always been meta in the Ultra League. Just has an insane amount of bulk, and the Hex, Surf, Shadow Ball has been great. Gliscor, Fear. So it's all those Pokemon that got buffed. If you play with them in the Great League, you kind of know how they play in the Great League. They're going to be pretty safe as well. Samurott, Jellicent, Gliscor can all, Lapras, all play a safe swap role, despite their like obviously weaknesses. There's electric in this meta, but just generally safe Pokemon. And then you get to the kind of unique ones. 2 Genesects, a Shock and a Chill. So the Shock is ranked higher. As you can see, there's just a lot of things weak to electric on the top list here. I just mentioned a few of them in Jellicent, Samurott, Tentacruel, Lapras. So the Shock drive hits pretty hard, and 14 with the Fury Cutter, so boosted there, like buff this season. And the Chill drive, the other option is to take care of the grass Pokemon with your Chill drive. Verzian is a grass but also a double kick user, right? So your first sort of fighting type Pokemon. Credilli is weak to fighting. Lapras is weak to fighting. So there's a couple things there, and then you obviously have the Sacred Sword Stone Edge coverage. You can also run Leaf Blade. I guess it depends what you want to beat. Zapdos, always a fun Pokemon. Again, Zapdos was like probably one of the go-to electric Pokemon of the Ultra League, but now with Belly Bolt, I think it just kind of takes a back seat. But you know, if you want more flyer coverage, that typing and Drill Peck combo, that's basically why you'd use it. Otherwise, you probably use Belly Bolt. Togedemaru, again, I don't see, it's fun. You need level 50. I don't see why you would invest in it when you can just invest in the other electric Pokemon. And then Skeldurge. Skeldurge on this list. I think Skeldurge, Electivire actually have a lot of play in this meta. You have Skeldurge. Again, there's a lot of grass, and being able to like Torch Song and just kind of buff your attack and get that, and Bug, right? You got your Genesects and stuff. So being able to just like buff your attack and keep going there will make it very difficult. And then Shadow Ball coverage. And then Electivire, very spammy with the Thunder Shock. So you got Wild Charge, sort of Nuke, and then you also have Ice Punch for coverage. So unfortunately, a very limited meta. And when I was trying to put together teams, it was just like, use the top 3 Pokemon together. So you're going to see some like, why are you using Togedemaru here? Like, use Belly Bolt. Like, I'm truly just trying to get you different combinations of teams here. But in the end, I do think you can just replace some of these Pokemon that I'll have on these teams with top Pokemon. So yeah, Togedemaru. So again, let's just start with, I start with Credilli. I start with the number 1 ranked Pokemon. It is going to be safe. You can use it as a safe swap. Gonna be weak to them things that are like Fighter. And again, it doesn't have a ton of weakness. Anything that will maybe, I don't know if there's any like Steel in this meta on secondary typings, but that's sort of the stuff that you need to, I guess Togedemaru and stuff like that will be Steel. So secondary typings there are going to cause you issues. Put in Lapras, just again, 2 safe swap Pokemon. And then I was just kind of covering weaknesses here. You're like, okay, you kind of lose the Jellicent on both of these. Oh, Ferrothorn's double Steel. So the Ferrothorn, not double Steel, but Ferrothorn's a Steel, which will deal with it. So then put in Togedemaru there for this. For the third, if you want another Ferrothorn answer, you can put in a different Pokemon outside Togedemaru. Belly Bolt, again, with the Sucker Punches, not a bad option. Speaking about Belly Bolt, as you can see here, very strong Pokemon as well. As you can see right beside it, Tentacruel, very safe. So this was what I just kind of found in this meta. It is very much like a lot of strong Pokemon, a lot of safe Pokemon that can just kind of all handle each other. And then if you really want to get like trying to get off board here, It was just like, okay, you got Belly Belt that's safe, you got Tentacle that's safe, put them together. What are your weaknesses? Oh, you're going to have problems with like there's Gastrodon in this, so you're double weak to ground. So there is a ground that gets in on its water typing, so let's just deal with that ground with a grass ice Pokemon in Abomasnow. So it's going to be like, you're going to see all these sims where it's just like, so many, the top 5 to 10 Pokemon are super, super safe. And then you're going to try and pair it with like a third coverage unique, and then you're going to just find that the unique Pokemon are very RPS and will have great matchups or have terrible matchups. And that is what makes these limited cups very tough, in my opinion. Like Ultra League is actually quite a healthy meta in the Open Ultra League compared to the Great League, in my opinion. You have so many options. You have so many different save swaps. You have so many different team building abilities, but it's just an accessibility resource with the XL candies. And here it's now you got a limited meta. So you got Pokemon that will do well. Again, here's Shadow Vic with that Acid Leaf Blade, has a great coverage. Like, you do not normally see that sort of even of a distribution on Shadow Vic's wins losses there. Obviously, fire is still going to be an issue for it. So cover your fire weakness with Jellicent. And then I also put it as Gastrodon in the back to have a second one. Jellicent as your safe swap, try and maybe draw out a grass and then punish it with Vic, and then roam free with Gastrodon. So it's not a true ABB style team, but that was the sort of thought process behind it. And then I wanted to look at Skeldurge, like how Skeldurge go. And again, this is like the even shield, even one shield, even energy scenario. You can like kind of play with it, different shield scenarios, like Torch Song it up and kind of run through it. Glycopod's actually in the first column, but I think on this team, Glycopod is the safe swap, so that's why I put it in the middle column there. And then Ferrothorn, the steel is going to be kind of interesting, right? Because I just said on the beginning, you have a bunch of Pokemon that are in because of their acid spray, not acid, but acid fast move now. And then you have your Belly Bolt, which is electric, and those are your top Pokemon here. And then there's like Lapras and other stuff. So Ferrothorn as a steel is going to have actually a lot of coverage in the meta. You just need to cover your fighters and your fire. So kind of did that with the other two Pokemon here. And I think one more team, and it is, Shadow Zapdos, Credillia as a safe swap again, and then Virizion. So double grass in the back, but the rock typing kind of neutralizes that. So Credillia is a safe swap. Shadow Zapdos is going to be pretty strong overall. Like I said, I do like its flying secondary typing. Belly Bolts will be just as strong. So if you want to not be super weak to Credillia and Belly Bolts, don't use Zapdos. But otherwise, it has a lot of coverage. But if you are going to be weak to those, cover those with some things that will beat them. Credillia, just as the grass rock, will do well against, again, Mirror Match and the other one. And then Belly Bolt, electric is resisted by grass, so put in a Virizion as well to give it a little more coverage. But that is where we are at. So I would expect a healthy dose of, just looking at this list, Credillia, it's going to be things that people have, and it's going to be things that have safety, and then it's going to be sort of try to core break. So I think you're going to see a healthy both of Credillia, Belly Bolt, Tentacruel, Lapras, Shadow Vic, Jellicent, Glisopod. Virizion's been around forever. Skeldurge has, Stunfisk and Gastrodon, maybe not as much because those are like kind of more niche in the last couple seasons with their buffs. Ferrothorn, yes, Ferrothorn's been around for a while in the Ultra League, so you'll probably see a lot of that because it could core break. Blastoise, if you didn't want to use like a Swampert or in the past, Blastoise is fine now. Zapdos you should see, Venusaur you should see, maybe Ninetales, but like there's for Alligator and stuff like that, Poliwrath. So there, it should be very top heavy here with some other Pokemon that people just have lying around from previous seasons. And in the end, it's going to be, I would play this within the first couple days because I would not be surprised that come Friday, not many people are going to be playing it. It's only going to be the ones who really want to grind out for whatever reason. They want to just try to push early in the season. They really just like Ultra League and have these Pokemon, or they got to create some content. I don't know what. I just don't think personally there's much reason to grind this week. It's a long season. We are only on week 3. We just had an Ultra League and a very limited Great League Cup. I guess we should talk about how this is the first time, like Niantic, I know it's not Niantic anymore, but Niantic was in charge when they put this list out. Niantic had been good at recognizing accessibility issues in the Ultra League and Master League, and this is the first time in maybe 4 seasons now that they have not had a Great League or Little Cup equivalent when Ultra League and Master League is on. Like last week is Ultra League, they had a Great League, a limited cup, a crappy limited cup at that, but a great league that people could play. And normally when they have a Master League on, they would put another limited Great League Cup or a Little Cup. And unfortunately this week they just decided to go with an Ultra League Cup, limited cup, to pair with Master League. So it's just, it's early in the season, so it's okay. But like, these are the types of things that we don't love to see. You're killing interest immediately. You had some buffed moves that made new Pokemon like Dedenne and Bellibolt sort of relevant now. You got these new buffed acids, like acids that Dragalge in the Great League is now unplayable. You got these like good changes to Steel, Bug, Fire, Electric, all the things that needed to be buffed, right? I actually did a video that came out after the move updates. I shot it before the move updates, but it came out after the move updates, saying like, these are the typings that need to be buffed because they are terrible in GBL. And Niantic buffed all those typings. So they did it. They made Great League more, have more options. They made Pokemon that had play, not have play before, have more play. And then immediately you have all this hype. This is I always have the problem with Niantic when they do this. You have all this hype. You made great changes. You got the Great League going. You got people excited. Views are up. People are trying to test out these Pokemon. They want to see what they need to build and everything. And then you absolutely slow down the momentum week 2 with an Ultra League and a Limited Cup where people hate the Limited Cup. And then you kill the momentum, all the rest of the momentum, week 3 with an Ultra League and a Master League, which people just don't need to play. Maybe you'll pick up week 4. But by week 4, we're headed into the summer months. And Go Fest, the Global Go Fest is next weekend as well. So we'll have to cover that. So it's just like, GBL's already struggling. You think that they would try to make decisions to do the best thing. Given that GBL's already struggling, you think they would make the best decisions for the game to try to keep the base happy or try to keep the player base from bleeding. But with decisions like this, it's just not the case. But, Scopely's in now. We will see if that changes moving forward. There's been rumors of complete overhaul to GBL behind the scenes of like them fixing the game. Maybe Scopely emphasizes the more of the battles. I did not watch the NAIC, but I heard that there was like one turn, like the bring in lag, like throughout the event, and a bunch of issues, and that people, it's like, if you're in the Play Pokemon Championship and your game is riddled with lag and you have like continual like debates and challenges, and like your announcers, instead of having to hype up the matchups, have to be like, oh, this is what happened, this is what the challenges come from, this is what they're looking at. Just like it doesn't bring people to the game. It just kind of scares people away. I don't know. That's enough ranting, but let me know your thoughts. If you're going to play this league, if you're going to play Master League, if you're going to take the week off, I think it all makes sense no matter what you want to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.